Hello, everyone, and welcome to Craft Conversations. Today I'm here with Lynn. Kara, why don't you introduce yourself to the world?
Hi, I'm Carolyn. I run a small children baby boutique out of the Quidi Vidi Plantation. I make mostly traditionally inspired patterns in modern prints. I do a lot of my own sewing, and I've just recently started screen printing my illustrations.
Oh, fantastic. Uh, so one thing that we were talking before and like really comes to me now is like, why did you choose craft as a profession?
I chose craft as a profession in quite a roundabout way. I originally went to school back home in Ontario, got a business degree, moved to Newfoundland with my partner because he had work here, and found I wasn't really finding work I liked, kind of floating around and decided I'm gonna take some sewing classes. I had previously worked as a costumer for a historic park. I made all the reenactors' costumes. And so looked for a couple sewing classes, coincidentally just found the College of the North Atlantic sewing course, or I guess textiles, fashion, and craft design. Yeah, we're gonna go with that's the title. And when I was getting close to graduation, I still didn't really know what I wanted to do. And one of my teachers, my design teacher, said, "Why don't you open a craft studio?" And I said, "What should I make?" And she's like, "Well, you just did a line of children's dresses for the craft fair at Christmas for your project. Do that." So I became a children's designer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's like a very different. I mean, like, I think you need the business side to understand that. And
yeah,
but also like it's very far apart from.
yeah. Like the business side had really helped me. And I definitely wouldn't have been as confident in doing what I did in school and like taking the jump afterward if I hadn't already done that. But a little bit my background, I wish I had done it after because I took large corporate management and HR and marketing with like $1 million budgets. And that's really different than it is to start your own craft business.
So you started your business right after school.
I applied for my studio while I was still in school.
Okay.
I had a week off at the end of June, and I opened my studio on the 4th of July.
Oh wow, that's like a very tight timeline.
Mhm.
So what was the impact? Like how did you plan your life in these 3 weeks?
Yeah. So I was really lucky because my parents came up to see me graduate. They didn't get to see my university graduation because I was already in Newfoundland. So they were really excited. And they just happened to also really love crafting. My mom's a quilter and she used to be a glass painter. So
Hmm.
they helped me outfit my entire studio, which was something I couldn't have done on my own as well. I would have been able to like use furniture for my house because I already had to spend money on like getting materials and supplies. So I was really lucky. And also my partner at the time made enough money that I didn't have to worry about I knew it was going to be financially hard to start a business after I'd just been in full-time school for 2 years. I did have a part-time job. I worked 2 mornings with a local company, Lizards Leos. I'm their seamstress. So that's really helped. Um, but I knew if I was going to go the craft-based route, I would be too stuck inside my head to do it in a home studio. I have dogs. My fiance is gone a lot. I knew I would get distracted. So I knew if I was going to do craft, I needed to go somewhere with other artisans.
So like that shift between like just finishing a new course that you're just trying to understand and trying to dominate and moving to a professional business practice that is going to put food on your table. Uh, how hard was that? Like, what was the major impact for you?
It was really hard, especially because I'm not from here and I haven't been here very long. So I didn't know a lot of people. I didn't really know anyone in the craft industry already, other than the other students I went to school with, and like yourself, who was a year ahead of me in school.
Hmm.
Didn't know a lot of people, so I had to really start from the ground up. It was a slow process. Um, it took a while to start making enough money to sustain myself. And like in times like this, we're back down to I'm not currently practicing because I'm working on other things to help with the current pandemic, but you just gotta go at it. And that was the hardest part, is keep doing it every day, setting yourself a schedule, which was easier because I had a place to go that had open hours at the Quidi Vidi Plantation. And I was with 7 to 10 other artisans who were also there. So if I had problems or I didn't know how something worked or I was looking for a supplier, I was around other emerging craftspeople that were having the same kind of problems. And then the ones that had been there for longer who had already figured those out. So it was a really, going to the plantation is the only way that this had worked for me. I don't think it would have been as easy to go straight from school to just launching a business without a lot of the kind of knowledge and contacts locally that I didn't have.
So now your business is kind of established and a lot of people know about it, and you've been doing several markets in town and you have a website. Maintaining that outside studio life, it's as hard as in the beginning, like creating that social media presence, that daily presence, that people recognize your brand.
Yeah, so that's definitely one of my weak points. I like doing a lot. I don't really like limiting myself. So I do try a lot more things than I should. I should start small and grow when I know things work. I can't, it's just not in my DNA. So posting to social media all the time is something I find really hard. Especially because when I'm just working in my studio, I want to work. And it just feels less like work to me, even though I know it is so important, especially in a time like now where everyone is stuck in their houses. The only way you're seeing anything is online. So I've been trying to get back into the swing of things since I've been out of the studio. But as you can see, my studio is a bit of a mismatch. I was supposed to get married this summer. I am now getting married next summer. I was making my wedding dress. So I have like all of the stuff for my wedding in this little room, as well as all the stuff for my company. It's a lot.
But do you manage, like, outside the pandemic state that we are now, how did you manage to like keep that balance between like maintaining your online presence while still making a lot of work? Because like if you're in the front line of a retail space that the Quidi Vidi is, you need to have constantly stock and bring in new things every day. So how did you maintain that balance?
In a regular setting, I find it a lot easier to work. I like being busy. I have more of a schedule when I have a studio to go to that's outside of my house. I do my paperwork in the morning from anything from the day before, get on the computer, any ordering I need to do. Then I kind of like see if I'm going to post on social media. I'm not a daily poster by any means. I think it's over excessive. I know a lot of companies do it. I don't like it, so I don't do it. I try to post a couple times a week. And then I produce. So I'll either spend a whole day cutting or I'll spend a whole day sewing. I like to break up my jobs in sections because I find I can accomplish tasks faster when I batch produce. So the way my work usually sells is I'll have a whole batch of one thing in one fabric, and then I'll have a whole batch of another thing in another fabric.
Right. For all the people that are starting their business now and they're just finishing school, what did you tell them?
Find yourself a creative community. When you have those people to bounce ideas off of or learn from, that's the most important thing. Because when you're doing it on your own and say like, my partner's great, he helps me out however he can, but he can't have the conversations with me like why this is designed that way, or if buying this number of packaging is a good idea. But other creative people, they can kind of tell you where you're going wrong or what's a really good idea or sustainable for how big your business is. Like at the plantation, I love working so closely with this group of people. We've become like a little family. And I can walk up to one of their booths in the middle of anything and be like, what is wrong with this design? And no holds bars, they will tell you. It's just, I think that having support systems is definitely the most important thing with your mental like ability to keep creating. And because you see so many people on social media posting about, look at this new product, or look at how much we sold out of this in minutes. And it's so hard if you're not at that point, or like you're having a bad week. When you see that and you compare yourself to them, you don't have anyone else in the industry being like, no, hey, I have similar experiences to you. It can be really disheartening.
Well, thank you so much, Carol, for being here today. People can check you out at the plantation and at your social media that you post 3 times a week.
At the moment, maybe a little less.
Thanks again for being part of the Craft Conversations. And I hope that you stay tuned. And next week we have some other amazing crafters presenting something different to us.
That's exciting. I'm excited to see what comes up.